My point is that cryptocurrency has long had a storytelling problem, and now that's becoming a political problem, because what happened with the infrastructure bill is just the beginning. Now that bill is going to the House. We're going to see cryptocurrency coming up in Congress again and again. And I think the crypto industry needs to make a stronger argument for why lawmakers should care about this. You know, they're saying that crypto could leave the U.S., but we have to make that argument for why Americans should care. And so what I say in the op-ed is that we need some larger messages. For example, let's argue that cryptocurrency will bring jobs to the United States. People are making that argument, but there's not yet a lot of data to support it. So let's at least put some projections out there. Let's argue that cryptocurrency will bring greater privacy. You know, Bitcoin is a relatively private form of transaction. I think that might appeal to Americans who care about data privacy. Let's argue that cryptocurrency is a form of freedom, of independence from banks, from governments. It's the freedom to invest in another asset that's not the stock market or real estate. So I just think we need some larger messages and arguments that will appeal to a broader base of voters.
Or maybe it sort of boils down to whether crypto helps the bad guys. You know, a lot of people's first sort of interactions with it, they think back to Silk Road, they think back to all these different, you know, Mt. Gox, and all these different issues that they've had with platforms and, you know, what people are using crypto for and who's involved and why. And this comes up time and again. I mean, that's why we were talking to Jack Mallers about El Salvador last hour and people who say El Salvador is just using Bitcoin as a way to further their own political inflationary agenda, what have you. So for those who say, well, isn't crypto fundamentally meant for law evaders? What's the answer to that?
That's such a good point, and that's been such a chronic problem for cryptocurrency. Even with this infrastructure bill, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what the debate is about. I'm sure there are people out there who think this is just the cryptocurrency industry trying to evade taxes, which is not what they are doing. They're not trying to evade taxes. They're just asking for more appropriate tax reporting requirements. So yes, there definitely needs to be a stronger argument that privacy is not the same thing as criminality. You know, you can have a right to private transactions, but that's not the same thing as saying you're going to use cryptocurrency for money laundering.
Emily, what was it in the infrastructure bill that alarmed the crypto lobby or crypto traders?
So I'll try to say this as simply as possible because it's quite complicated. But basically, it was a tax reporting requirement that would apply to a wide variety of actors across the cryptocurrency industry, such as software developers or miners. And basically, it would require them to classify them as brokers, meaning that they had customers. And these entities do not necessarily have customers. So basically, the short argument is that it would make it very difficult, if not impossible, for them to comply with U.S. tax requirements, and thus might lead them to actually leave the United States for good.
Emily, another thing that sort of I think about in all of our discussions over the past couple of hours is, you know, the case for crypto innovation in the U.S. probably has to go beyond crypto itself. You know, why is it that why is it worth building out an infrastructure that just parallels the existing payments infrastructure?
Well, you know, I think, look, one thing is that a lot more Americans are getting interested in crypto trading, right? And I think they see this as a real vehicle for investment, for trade. I mean, Coinbase just released its numbers. They had something like over 8 million monthly transacting users. So, I mean, I think you could just make the argument that this is just Americans have a right to this new asset class.